This is episode 4, how and when I got catfish. Woo! Okay, so I was 16 and a sophomore in high school when this happened. I was using an app called Scout. For those of you that are like,
what? Online dating existed back then?
yeah, it did. And I assumed that because I got catfished on there and it was horrible that the app would just be like deleted from society, but I just looked and it's still there. But this app is basically like the PG-13 version of Tinder, kind of, but you can also talk to people from all over the country. So that's what I did. Wait, so you're probably wondering why I was on there in the first place. I was really insecure at 16 years old. All my friends had relationships and I was lonely. So I got the app and I met somebody very quickly on there. So we'll just call him Nick. But that really doesn't matter because it's not his name anyways. So I matched with Nick and he was this beautiful, like 6'5", honey-skinned man, and he was 24. I was 16, okay, so blah. So Nick lived in Texas, but I didn't care because I was lonely and I wanted someone to talk to, so I was okay with that. So instantly we're hitting it off, we're vibing, and it's like a weekend, and he's like,
hey, we should date, be my girlfriend.
Okay. Yeah, okay. But I was really lonely, so I said yes. But I didn't tell anyone else. So this was the start of my first relationship, and I was so on cloud 9 because my first boyfriend, woohoo, like amazing, except that he lived like 1,200,000 miles away from me. Cool. So then things started to get a little fishy. I met his friend, this other beautiful woman, and she was like his best friend apparently, and she would text me things about him like,
oh, how are you guys doing? You guys are so cute together.
Were we cute? Were we really? I mean, did you ever see us together? No, she did not, because we were never together. And then it got fishier because someone else came in the picture, his cousin. And she was a pretty average white girl about my age, but she too became very invested in my relationship with Nick. And she would be texting me, his best friend would be texting me, and anytime there was something wrong, I would be getting texts from them, not even from Nick. It was weird. Now, it's important for me to mention, when I was 16, I didn't have this. I didn't have Snapchat. I barely used my Instagram. So I wasn't asking him for his Snapchat or his Instagram. I would just send like a goofy picture, and he would send one back that looked similar, so I didn't even think anything of it. In high school, I had to get up at like 6 a.m., but I would stay up until like 3:30 a.m. talking to him on the phone. But there was a day, I got out of class, and I had 223 messages from Nick. I'm not exaggerating that at all. So I mean, they were nice. They were all nice messages, but I was feeling overwhelmed. Like, who has enough time in their day even to send that many messages? So then my school's homecoming dance was coming up, and I said to Nick, hey, I think I'm gonna go to the dance. And he said to me,
okay, if you go to the dance, I'm never talking to you again, so take your pick.
yes, we love healthy relationships. That was not good. So I didn't go to the dance. When this happened in month 8 of talking to each other, I talked to this person for 8 months. So, the night of homecoming that I didn't go to, we got in a really huge fight. I could not even tell you what the fight was about, but it ended with me saying, I don't want to talk to you anymore. So, the next day rolls around, it's a Sunday. I remember this day very vividly. Again, he had contacted me and I said, you know what, I'm done. I cannot talk to you anymore. This is not good for me. This is not good in general, so no more. So, his next text to me was,
I don't want to be on this earth anymore, so goodbye, Claire.
So now, 8 months later, I am on my floor, hyperventilating, having a panic attack, sobbing, not knowing what to do because he's just threatened to take his own life. My parents had no idea that this was happening, but my mom comes up and hears me and finds me on the floor, and she says,
what is going on?
So I had to explain the whole story to her, and at the same time I'm getting text messages from his best friend and his cousin saying,
how could you do this, Claire? He's not responding to us. Like, what did you do?
And the whole day I'm just sitting there wondering when I'm going to hear back from him, if ever, and how I'm going to explain this to the people in my life and his friend and his cousin. So then I get a text at about 6:30 p.m. from him saying,
I'm sorry, Claire, I shouldn't have said that to you.
I said, do not contact me again. And we haven't spoken since. However, one day I was scrolling through Twitter. This was like several months later. And this really famous account pops up. I click on the little Abby, little profile picture, and it's a picture of Nick. Now, the name of this person was completely different. They were for real. So I contacted one of the friends of these people because they had a lot less followers, and I was like, hey, does your friend possibly go by the name Nick, blah, blah, blah? The friend said, no, not that I know of, but he has a very popular Tumblr, so it's possible that the person you were talking to got those pictures from there. And to this day, I'm pretty sure the person I was talking to was the cousin. I think it was the average-looking white female cousin that I was talking to. Now, I say this because when I was on the phone with Nick, his voice was a little bit high-pitched. I didn't think anything of it. Like, I was still going through puberty. I thought maybe he was too. But also the cousin had the most tangible information. She told me she was on the golf team at her high school, and I looked her up and she was on the roster. But for Nick and the friend, there was no other information. So yeah, I think I was talking to a young woman this whole time. 2 years ago, I actually reached out to Neve and Max from CATFISH to ask them if maybe I could be on the show because of this. I actually got a call back from one of their producers, and she said,
hey, this story is really interesting. However, it's been a little bit too long. So if you decide to reach back out to this person, or if they reach back out to you, let us know and we'll make something happen.
But I'm not doing that because I don't want anything to do with this person because that's really messed up. If you didn't learn anything from this, I hope you at least found it entertaining. But join me in 2 weeks to hear about the time that my Spotify music artist Tinder date ordered my food for me.